practice. Didn't get a lot time to practice this week. It was more maintaining, just trying to get our things together. But it was a tough and 5-day weeks. But good, solid, and hopefully we'll come out and play well Saturday and keep getting better as we go. Like I say, we're a work in progress. We have some things we do well, some things we got to keep getting better at. And all good teams, just keep improving every week. Hopefully we'll do that this week and get ready to play. But got to play a good Charleston Southern team. Be ready on Saturday. Our early game, 12:30. Got to rock and roll early. Questions?
What's Kareem R's status?
He's out. He'll be out. Hopefully we'll get him back Monday is what we're thinking, possibly.
How's DeAndre with the ankle? I know father DeAndre with the ankle, or like he was limping a little bit.
He's fine.
Okay.
How about Dalvin with his ankle?
Fine.
Tell us about the quick turnaround. What changes this week?
Oh Lord, that's tough. I'm gonna tell you what. And I say this: you shouldn't do this to college kids. To get in that late night games like that and turn around 5 days later with school and all the things that got to go, recovery, sleep, rest, mind. That's hard on these kids now. I mean, it really is. And you can't push them too hard. Like I say, this week is more of a. It's hard to get better in practice when you can't practice. You have your Monday, Thursday practices and all you can get, and you're more worried about trying to get those guys back from rest and things like that. And that's a shame. You lose a whole week of practice or something like that. But that's it. We got to play. It's not that it's going to affect us playing Saturday, but I'm just saying in the long run, you always like to take those weeks of trying to get better every week.
You see Cook catch a lot of passes out of the backfield this game. What's your excitement about that?
Well, I mean, you got to get him ball. People are going to stack the box. They're going to do different things. And he is a very good route runner. He's got very good hands. He's very multidimensional. So we try to find ways to create matchups, and that's it gets the ball in space. That's less beating he has to take, and he's a complete player that way. So we just try to get as many touches in different ways as we can.
Did Patrick run the ball like you?
Yes,
you
he
wanted
did.
him to?
I was extremely pleased with him. I'll tell you, he took a flare pass one time. About 4 or 5 yards later, was up in a hit bound. He's starting to really run like I think he's capable of running. And but saying all that, I'm hopefully we'll get Vickers and Ryan Green and some of those guys in the game. They've been having good camps too. But I was very pleased with Jaquez's size, and he used it with and blocked. And I thought he played a very, very solid football game.
Jimbo, with the stadium getting this big reveal on Saturday, how big is this for the program moving forward?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, it just shows you progress, and progress is a good thing. And that obviously we're having success. We wouldn't be able to do those things, and trying to make this experience for the fans that much better when they get to come to Doak Campbell.
Mm-hmm. When Stan took the job here a couple years ago, he made facilities a part of his big, plan to help this program move forward and be one of the best in the country.
We always have. That's what we've been doing with. We took an indoor facility. We took a thing. We had this already in plans to have the locker rooms done. We had the dorms we had to get done. There's a lot of plans in the facility. Facilities is the key. I've said that the whole time, and that's something we at Florida State are going to do.
When these things come to fruition, how easy is it now for you guys to recruit and
well, it
market these
is,
things
but it
too?
goes back with winning. You ain't gonna have these things if you're not winning, and you're having success in your programs to be able to pay for them. So we got to do that. But if you want to keep up with the Joneses and you want to get good players, you got to be able to do it.
Jimbo, when Derek went out, Nick Patty went in. Some of the other guys that on scholarship, like were they not available, like Purifoy or Shamar Cubby?
Shamar's ineligible.
Okay.
He's academic ineligible. He's not able to play. And Delvin ready, but just you coming off that ankle. Nick is ahead of him right now, where we're at. Now, the two young guys, Emmett Rice and Jackson, are about ready. They'll be ready to play. It just wasn't quite the place to put them in, but we put Emmett in at some point. Emmett played some plays on defense, too. Those guys are really progressing. Jackson had a setback there where he got sick. He had a personal tragedy. It happened with somebody back home, and then he got sick there. He caught a virus for about a week and got sick. But he's getting back in. He'll be playing, and Emmett's coming on very strong, too. Those guys, we feel comfortable starting to put him in a game. That just wasn't the place. And Nick was a little better with assignments and has done a good job in camp.
Is that one of the downsides of playing one of those games early? Is you don't want to play some of those freshmen?
Well, some of those guys, you get exposed. We put some in, but when they get crazy like that now, it's hard to put those true freshmen in that situation. That's because you can ruin guys before you make them.
After going back and watching the film, was there anything that surprised you from Monday night?
We had some of the motion penalties, and we talked blaming on the offensive line. You got to remember, 2 of them was on tight end, 1 of them was on a receiver. We had 5 motion penalties, and only 2 on the offensive line, which was, you can't have those kind of things. I thought there were some poor calls. I thought DeAndre got hit late about 3 times. That was really unnecessary. Should have been called. But we had some assignments up front that I thought things that we knew and just didn't execute early in the game. But then we got our poise back, and in the second half did a really nice job. Defensively, communications. You had young guys playing, but they hadn't started. And in every play, and just slip. Just a little bit of a communication issue on a coverage or something. And one time that I think we had a guy that went down the middle. Matthew Thomas tried to block the pass. Remember, down the middle in the vertical, a guy was supposed to be covering him blitzed. So Matthew tried to come over and cover for him. And, some communication issues like that by formations that, shouldn't happen, but they do. That's what first games are about sometimes.
Jimbo, when you were trailing, and you also were in some bad down and distances in that first half, but even when you took the lead, had some standard downs, there were a lot of first down shotgun, second and sixth shotgun. Was that something?
Shotgun?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you run the ball. Now, we run the ball out of it just as much as we'll throw it. You know what I'm saying? So, our shotgun running game, we can do everything in the gun that we do underneath. So, just trying to get guys off, get vision, and also allowed us to have our screen game more involved when we do that.
There were a couple times where like a couple of linemen like kind of got tripped up on their feet. Is that because you had some new guys in there?
Well, they just got tied up, got pushed, and the guy got stepped on and get spacing, get splits. A guy supposed to be in a 2-foot split, maybe in a foot, you know what I'm saying, or 3 foot. Sometimes they get off or they get displaced. And we had more guys tied up like that probably than normal, but sometimes it happens like that, guys. You get knocked around or you just get your splits bad. But we had 2 or 3 of those protections. You saw guys got tied up with their feet.
Was it encouraging to see some of the young sophomores like Tavares, Marcus kind of bounce back after maybe rocky start?
Well, but when here's you remember, when you play, you say rocky start. You ever see a DB never been beat?
True.
Never. I mean, you got to have a short memory. You ever see a quarterback that ever throw an interception? Or a receiver didn't have a drive? There's things going to happen. And when you play out in the secondary, you got to have a short memory, and you got to have confidence. You got to bounce back, and that's the kind of players they are. But they've never started. Those guys have never started a game and played and had that pressure on them from day one. It's different. And just like we say on offense, we've got a lot of guys starting that came back, but a lot of those guys only started 4 or 5 or 6 games. It ain't like they were experienced veterans that started all 12 games, besides Rod and a couple of those guys. So I mean, we're still in those situations. Guys are getting used to playing in that role. But I was very proud of the way they bounced back.
How have you seen teams at the FCS level, especially the top end, improve over your career?
So many more people playing football now, and with scholarship limitations, players got to filter down. So those lower levels of ball are getting a lot more players, and especially skill guys. Those teams that spread it around and throw it, so it makes them that much more dangerous.
This is going to be a game you try to get Sean in a little bit more to see where he's at.
I want to get the guys in and play well and hope we play well. I'm not trying to get anybody in except the guys that are playing well. If we have a chance to get him in, we get him in. If we get somebody else in, we get them in. We got to play well and get better. That's what I'm worried about.
With DeAndre taking the hits, was it a combination of line, receivers with the routes? Or
That's ball, man. That's quarterback. You're going to get hit. You're going to stand there against good people and throw the ball 52 times, you're going to get rocked. That's what I said. A couple times we got tripped. 2 or 3 of those big hits was when linemen tripped up on each other, had some missed things, and he probably took 3 good shots. 2 or 3 of the shots were illegal. I said 2 or 3 of them are definite late hits and should have been flagged, and he shouldn't have been touched. Now there's 2 or 3. Rod tripped on the touchdown play. He got tripped by the left guard. There was another one. Our right guard got tripped on a center that we had some pressure. A couple guys got beat.
You think those hits kind of